Okay, we started out this morning on the E-mini. It was a Newsday trade. Whichever the way the news went, the market was going to go. Good news is bad news. Bad news is good news. So we really got lucky on this, and it was a hell of a trade. We caught good economic news, which means the Fed can raise interest rates sooner rather than later. The market did sell. We get some retracement back. We've got a retest failure. We've got a mean green trade. We've got a lot going for it. And we know that the market tends to rally when it's going to sell, or right off the opening, or break when it's going to rally. So in this case scenario, at the 9 o'clock update before the 9:30 opening of this, we lowered our sell to 19 to 21 and 24 to 25. And we just traded to just a little bit above 19 right before 20. So worst case scenario, you were short at 16, and if you'd figured out a way to stay with this trade, there was 22 points for the end of the day. And I'm not saying you should stay for that or would have stayed for that, but right here, that is a winning trade. The second software generated trade is a winning trade. The third software generated trade is a winning trade. And on the fourth and or fifth, depending on which one you would have traded, you would have had a small loss. Now, we talked about this in the room. This low is at 2100.50. That low is 2100.25. We've got a retest failure. The exchange members would not go for stops below 2100, which they should do. So buy stopping when you take out this high right there is a fabulous trade. That's plus 4. There's no trade on this B. Market comes back, rallies. Couple of S's plus a retest pivot high. And then right now we've gone into chop, probably a little short covering into the close. But this was a huge day, and we had it off the opening. I mean, this is a day where you can come in, you know what's going to happen based on the news, or got a pretty good feeling. And we had a trading target down here in this 97, 98 area, which off the longer term charts, there was volume there. That was the attractor. So we thought stops below 2100. And then we had the attractor down there in the 97, 98 area. That proved to be pretty close to the low. So you have really, really good information at your fingertips that you can take into the trading. And it doesn't mean you're right every time, but you really are playing with very, very solid information that can make you money if you put it to use as per our methodology and rules, etc. Okay, this is that high volume number that I was talking about, this attractor. We did get there. Lower high, lower low. This screen has us a seller. Come Tuesday morning, or in Globex tonight. I got to kill this phone. Get on this IP deal. It's an IP phone, ISP phone, and sometimes somebody is pinging that site and it never stops ringing. So we're sellers off the F1 screen. Off the F2 screen, will this be confirmed? I believe it will. And you can see that we have a couple of distributions down. Now in D through M period, we've got a D forming right here. You can see this. So we're looking for a new move. This 2101, 2102 area, and my guess is it's going to be lower. So if the market was to close right here at 99, you can see this spill right here. 4 to 6 will be sell 1. 9 to 11 will be sell 2. Picking up this area right in here. On the buy side, we've got volume at 94. So I think we'll get pulled to that, maybe a little bit lower. So we'll make 90, 92, buy 1, give it a little bit of room to the downside. And then the break is at 82.50, so we'll make 86, 84 for buy 2. And we'll see how she plays. I use this type of terminology, we'll see how it plays, or we'll probe, or we'll see how the market takes our paper, trying to not make it such a life and death situation for most people. I've just got to be right. I can't be wrong anymore. Can't stand this. I've done my homework. Everything is fine. yet I still have losers. It just can't happen anymore. And that's the conversation you have to stop between your ears. You just have, I'm going to put on a trade, looks reasonable, and we'll see what happens. And that's where you got to take yourself mentally if you're going to be effective as a trader. You can have, off the best systems, you can have losses 6, 7, 10 times in a row. And that is no fun, believe me. Just went through that with the E-mini here in the first part of the month. I think I was wrong 6 times before we had a winning trade. And it doesn't mean that anything's really changed. It just means that for that little period of time, your methodology did not work. I work with a fellow who's a spread trader who uses a program that's been right 27 out of the last 31 years, but that doesn't stop the fact that it had lost 4 years out of the 31. It doesn't stop the fact that it can have 3 to 6 month drawdowns before it kicks in. And you talk about having to, really stick with your game plan to make that thing work. That's probably more asking a lot more than a beginning player can do. But if nothing has changed and your methodology is still sound, and that's what doubt will make you question, then you've got to put the trades on. Okay, we have an outside day based on F, and the holiday based on C. We've got a higher low and a higher high, so we should get a retest of today's highs and or higher. Now, we had a 2-year auction today, which had 3.4 to 1 coverage, which is pretty good. Tomorrow we have the 5-year auction, and they'd like to see that north of 2.7, 2.8. Up on the first auction, down on the second auction. It seems like we're back in that pattern right now, up on the third auction. So we had an auction today at 27.5. So I think we're going to get a chance to sell it in London, or certainly in tomorrow, and see what we've got. And I don't think the market will break. I think we are basically looking for places to be a buyer. But if we're going to have a weak auction, it'll be the second one. Looking at the F2 screen, double distribution up, saddle formation. So prime buy territory for us would be this 12 to 16 area. Prime sell territory for us will be this 27 to 31. And if they go a little bit higher, I think that's where we're going to be. So we're going to sell failure basically to take out 128. And then we're going to sell 3s to 7 on the assumption the E-mini does not melt down. On the buy side, the breakout from the overnight came at from the 23 area. So we're going to buy the 20 to 24. Try to lean against that little G low right there. And then 13 to 17 will be buy 2. There'll probably be more Greece news out overnight. Looks like they're going to take it to the edge and default. There'll be commentary about what happens if Greece defaults, how will that affect Spain, Portugal, Ireland. Italy probably will not be mentioned. And the problem facing the EU and the European Central Bank is, what kind of a deal do we cut with Greece, either to get them out or to hold them in? Can we afford to cut the same deal for Spain and Portugal and Ireland? Like the EU has said from day one, they could lose Greece, Ireland, and Portugal and still keep the thing going. They can't lose Spain or Italy. So not an easy slog for Draghi. They'll figure out how to delay it as much as they can. They're pretty good at that. But we're getting closer to that day of reckoning. Okay, the 5-year is tomorrow. So selling failure to take out 5608 to 12, sell 1. And then selling the 16 to 20 area for sell 2. Very, very strong market because we get these wild swings. The obvious place to buy it would be 25 to 29, but let's make it 21 to 25. Try to pick up this area right here. We'll put a question mark by 29. Again, if the E-mini is selling, we do not want to be short. And the next spot would be 9 to 13. And these are pretty wide, but this market ran with a lot of strength today. It sells with a lot of momentum too. So if tomorrow's a sell day, maybe we'll have a shot to buy it on the cheap side. But long we want to be into the 7-year auction. Okay, gold. I don't know. I really don't trust the selling that we had today. Obviously, the economic news was strong enough where the Fed can raise interest rates sooner rather than later, and gold sold, and that's where we find ourselves. So you can see down here that the 45 to 50 area is probably best support, maybe as low as 25. We're right in the high volume area starting on the March 17th split. So a little bit lower, but I don't think the market can break. So we got a low volume now. We're back down to our 75, 79. Then we've got our 85, 86. So this market off the screen says find a place to sell it first. Got a very, very clean break here at 92.50, 93. Last rotate up was 90. So sell one. Very, very close, 89 to 91. Sell 2 is going to be 94 to 96. Got some volume down here at 82, so we'll make 80, 82, buy 1. The idea that we can at least get stops below today's lows. And then our 75, 77. Now, having said that, 85 is a number that could hold. We liked 85, 87 today, and it didn't make any money off of it, but you didn't get hurt either. Okay, crude headed lower with some momentum. And you can see we've got 3 lower highs and 3 lower lows. So we got volume. Yeah, this 57.40 area right here. We got volume against 57. We got a low volume number at 40. So 57 plus or minus some. You can see the last rotate down here stopped in the 56.25, 55.75. So 55.25 to 57.50 is where we would expect some support. So we're at 58.10. We have our low today. I believe it was 80. I don't remember off the top of my head. And it was 70. So I think we're probably going to head a little bit lower. So we'll put our first buy 57, 57.25. And then 56.50 plus or minus for buy 2. On the sell side, 58.50, maybe 25 to 50, sell 1. And then 58.75, 59, sell 2. And it might take a 57.50 to get on. I don't know, but it's pointed lower, and it's sold with some pretty good momentum today. Okay, Greece has, at least for domestic purposes, their finance minister, who's not allowed to negotiate with the EU, has said we're headed for default. There's nothing we can do about it. Get ready. And it's kind of a good cop, bad cop. They're going to go to the wire. The problem is that they can't make the June 5th payment without without a payment from the European Central Bank or the IMF. And then they got to make their payroll, so to speak, domestically. So they've got a really, really tough situation without money from the European Union or from the IMF or from someplace. So Greece is trying to goad or nudge or push the EU into freeing up some more money. Definitely a seller off the F1 screen. And Germany has said we want to work out a deal, but you've got to cut your budget. You've got to come up. You've got to stick to your plan, or we won't give you any more money. So I don't know who blinks first. My guess is behind the scenes they'll probably arrive at a compromise. I mean, the EU doesn't want the burden of having to write the big check right now. They can feel that it's coming. So 850 plus or minus is buy one. Then our 108 even, 108.25 will be buy two. I think we're headed there. I think we're headed back below 105. On the sell side, there's 75, so we'll make 90 to the buck, sell one. And then we'll make 15 to 25, sell two, and we'll see what happens. That's all I have for this May the 26th. You all have a great evening. Maybe we won't get rain tonight. They have us down to a 30% probability, but we've now got over 11 inches of rain officially, and some places have gotten a lot more. Not as bad as Texas, though. I'll see y'all bright and early in the morning. Y'all have a great evening.